Hey everybody, if you watch my last video, the correct answer is question number 2. And I want to make a point and say, I mentioned, are you special in a way that the government wants you? And that came out different than what I wanted. I did not meant government as in they're spying on you, because if you watch my other videos, you will know that I don't emphasize on government, because it's not the government. And I'm going to start keeping my videos short. And today I want to talk about being safe in public. Now, depends on how far you are in this gang stalking phenomenon. If you're starting to hear voices, you need to be very careful in public. And the reason for that is, let's say you're walking inside Walmart and you want to be a friendly, happy person and not be so confrontational, because you need to think about, there might be more than one targeted individual inside that same Walmart at the same time that you're there shopping. And knowing how evil these gang stalkers are, or their evil intention, they can actually use two targeted individuals against each other. And it's very important for you to understand de-escalation and avoid any confrontation, and try to be as professional as you can, because the reality is you can get in trouble and you can potentially go to jail. Depends on your action. You might be walking down an aisle and you're hearing voices coming down from the other end. At the same time, somebody else from the other end is walking down the aisle, and that person can also be a targeted individual. 1 second, there's a truck coming in. So at the end of the aisle, that person can also be a targeted individual. And if you or the other person start a confrontation, things could turn ugly. And if it's in public, it's better off for you to avoid anything that's could potentially put you in jail or potentially get you arrested. With that being said, your action in public is very important. So behave like a professional. And it shows that you have control of the situation. If you're losing your cool in public, it just means you're in deep shit. Yes, you are. And you need to figure out how to pull yourself back out of that situation, because these gang stalkers got a hold of you. Mentally, they put you in fear. And I teach you guys to have no fear mentality, because you are in the driver's seat. These gang stalkers are tiny ass little, I call them bitches. Little bitches. And do I recommend you doing that? No, because you're not me, and you are going through something different than the way I am going through it. It's best for you to be nice as you go through this stage of your life with gang stalking, and I will help you get out of it, and I will help you realize exactly what they are. So it's very important to have that no fear mentality. If you are in fear, that just means Your mind is consumed with too much negative thoughts. You might be scared of your neighbors, or if you see your neighbors outside, you might feel like, oh, they're watching you, or they're always eavesdropping on you, or you might even think that they're part of the gang stalkers. That's a horrible way of living, especially when you have so much fear even going to your front door. You need to have more positive thoughts in your head. You need to give others a benefit of doubt. Maybe your neighbors are just cleaning up in the front. I mean, they're outside. You can't expect them to not look around. You can't expect them to not look in your direction. It's normal. When you're in public, you can look any direction you want. When you start to think that, oh, your neighbor is actually only putting their focus looking at your side of the street, or looking at your house, or looking at you, that is just too extreme. They could be looking down the street and not at your house at all, but just looking at that direction of your home. They could be looking at the trees, or the sky, or admiring certain paint, or just thinking about something else, or some home improvement that they can do for their house, their home. So you need to give them the benefit of doubt, and you need to do the same for other people out in public. I tell people, if they're not talking shit directly to your face, then don't stress it. Just walk by them and go on with your own thing. Don't stare down with them. Don't start any confrontation, because that person could just be crazier than you. That person could do something stupid and put you in the hospital. So what if the police capture them? So what if they eventually go to court and go to prison? You still end up in the hospital. That whole experience, it's just not pleasant. It's terrible. But worst case scenario, I mean, you could end up getting hurt so badly, it will just changes your life. You end up being a cripple or die. Whatever you're doing as a targeted individual, same could be happening to somebody else out there that's also a targeted individual, but in a worse situation than you. They could be just so crazy, because the way you handle this is all about your background and your culture, and how you were raised as a kid, and how you handle different situations and difficulties in life. And by having those experiences, it's going to help you process what exactly is going on differently than others. So you need to stay cool and be calm and be safe in public. If you're actually just staying home all the time and you're scared to go out, or you don't want to go outside, then that means these gang stalkers have already worked themselves into your mind. See, negative thoughts can come in a variety of ways. For instance, I used to always have these negative thoughts when I leave my place at home, when I leave my home, pull out the driveway and start driving, and I see another car pass by me going the opposite direction. I would always look at the mirror and see if they would actually stop in front of my house or go into my driveway. Now, you might think that's just, being paranoid or whatever, but that in itself is a form of fear. That type of thinking is a form of fear. Now, you can say you're just being cautious and you just want to take a look. That's fine. But if you start to have more than just that simple thought of just making sure that they drive past your home, if you continue to have these random crazy negative thoughts after you saw the car drive through, then that means they actually got a hold of you, and you're gonna need to stop those negative thoughts in your head. You're gonna need to focus on something more happy. Whenever negative thoughts are in your head, it stays there. Negative thoughts do not leave your head. The only way to counter negative thoughts is by generating positive thoughts in your head. So over time, if you have all these negative thoughts in your head, it just keeps stacking on top of each other. You're gonna live like a very depressed person. And I guess in the medical field, they would call those people, well, you know what? I'll take it back. I want to stay away from that for now. But you're gonna need to generate happy thoughts, positive thoughts. Think about your own life and how you can achieve your goals, or think about a new hobby that would excite you, or think about something you can do that's with friends or family, or just not think about it at all, but try to prevent negative thoughts from generating in your head. And if you've been thinking negatively for many years now, you're going to need to start generating more happy thoughts to balance your mind. And if things are overwhelming, it's good to be in nature. Being in nature is the best way to generate peaceful and happy thoughts. And if you don't have a park nearby, just get a plant. Look at a bush. I mean, just look at a plant for like 3 to 5 minutes and you'll feel at peace. Seriously. Look at any plant for a couple minutes and your mind will be very peaceful. But at the same time, you're going to need to realize you have to generate some energy in your mind to stop these negative thoughts. So you're going to need to put some focus into it. Kind of like try to think of back in school when you would take a final exam or final test. You know how like, oh, some major test is coming up, like a math test, and you need to ace it. You would probably try to really focus on the test. You know, that focus is using that energy in your head. That's exactly what you need. Just put some energy into it and focus on happy thoughts. So for now, remember to practice no fear in your mind. Think happy thoughts and also be professional in public. I'll see you in the next video. Shumhong signing out.